Today on What Went Wrong, we're going to talk about why the ability to be able to write is one of the most important skills you need in life. Hi, I'm Brett Mauser, and I made over 40 feature films. And with those, aside from the occasional one here and there, I've written them all. Writing is a very important skill in your life, not just if you're going to make movies. Well, we'll cover a little bit about how important being able to write and express yourself is, but throughout just in life in general. And this when I'm teaching public speaking courses, I teach debate.
Right.
And that's an incredibly important thing to be able to do, because if you can't debate, you can't think. And that's one thing that I think society today is deeply missing, is the ability, it's an art that's been lost, of critical thinking.
Yeah.
Being able to take multiple ideas and hash them out and understand one point of view over the other and find a truth in there. And that's, I think, one of the biggest disservices that the people who say it's your truth or it's my truth or there's no truth with a capital T, that's why we're at the state that we're at.
It's talking about, the rules of the universe. Once again, there are absolute truths. If you jump off of a cliff, you are going to fall. Gravity is a law. Gravity exists. You cannot debate gravity. It's not like your gravity is different than my gravity. No, that's the way it is. There are certain natural laws that exist in the world, on our planet, that are not up for debate. There are certain rights and certain wrongs that come from natural law. Okay. Now, not to say the law of the jungle, which is different, is animals kill each other, blah, blah, blah. We're not animals. We are animals, but we're not. In the general thing, we have a different kind of cognizance. We have a sense of right and wrong, and natural law plays into that. And it's not enough for you to just decide, agree to disagree, because you no longer have anything useful to say, which is usually what happens.
Yeah, and I got in an argument with a debate with somebody, and I used that. Somebody said, "Oh, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree." I was like, "Okay, well, you lost."
Yeah.
Because you have nowhere, you can no longer rebut my points.
Right.
You have ceded the argument to me.
Right.
And writing is an important way of getting to that ability.
Right.
And if you can express yourself, express your point of view, and get your argument down on paper, and be able to express it, you're going to go so far in life.
So far.
Because you have that ability to explain to people why you're right and why your way is the correct one, as opposed to somebody who's just going to base it on, well, this feels like the right way to do it. No, you need to be, and that's why if you just go on emotion, you can't write a 25-page essay based on your emotions.
No.
It's now just a work of fiction.
Right.
It's now just this quote unquote work of art that you're expressing your emotions. You have no fact, you have no art, no path, no plan.
Yeah.
And that's why being able to write is so important, not just in film, but in your life. Because if something at work, if there's a debate, okay, are we going to handle this situation that way or this way? If you have some guy that's just going to sit there and go, well, it's not right that this be the case. It just doesn't feel right, or it's just wrong. It's like, well, okay, I understand that, but let me explain to you. Here's what we're going to do, and you can chart it out. You say, okay, if this is your argument, then this is going to. Can we agree that this is going to be the outcome of that? And if you don't agree that it is, let me point out through historical or scientific reasons why that's going to happen that way.
Right.
But if you're just based on emotion and you're not writing this down, because when you're writing, you have to have that cognitive thinking ability to be able to order and structure your thoughts.
Right.
And when you start ordering and structuring your thoughts, you will start to see the flaws in your argument if there
Right.
are any.
And which will prevent you from making poor decisions. One of the things that has always been so very important in my life, your life, is the ability to reason. And that comes through knowledge, study, history, science, which then leads, of course, into the science, technology, engineering, and math. All those things everyone talks about that everyone needs to be doing, and people are not doing. And one a conversations you'll have about why certain people aren't going into STEM fields is because those require you to, if you're going to be emotional, you have to channel it into the science. You have to channel it into the technology and the engineering. You have to channel your emotions into math, because 2 + 2 doesn't care about how you feel about it. Okay, 2 + 2 never equals 5 because I don't feel like it today, or I just don't feel. No, this is how it is. Okay, A, then B, then C. Logic. 2 + 2 = 4. Math. The engineering of everything on planet Earth is done through the unemotional calculation and manipulation and addition and subtraction of numbers and angles and the way machines work. And that's how the planet has been built. Okay, you can be as emotional as you want, but you're never going to get anything. You're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to be able to do anything constructive, useful, to bring additional comfort and help to the rest of the world, unless you know science, technology, engineering, and math, and none of those involve emotion. You may be emotional about those fields, okay? But you can't explain to me that the building has to do this and the angles have to be this and the weight bearing has this because I'm in my blue field. I'm in my blue. What? You have to be able to have that. Writing is the way. When you're younger, remember how we grew up? We had to write just so much writing when we were in school. Brett and I went to school together, and we had several classes together: computer technology, English classes. And you of course were in the acting and debating squad, which was championship winning. Congratulations, by the way. You guys won everything all the time, you bastards. But anyway, and it's difficult to, if you're going to have the emotion, that's great. I have a love for certain things. I have an emotional attachment to certain things, but none of that matters if I cannot channel that emotion into a useful field, into a useful, explainable, calculable format. Writing, being able to use language, being able to understand language, vocabulary, syntax. I hated English class. I hated it so much. Diagramming sentences, detested that. Okay. Very necessary to my education. And in the end, when I went to college, when I was in the military, now that I'm doing other things, the ability to have a cognizant and cogent argument or reason or plan is paramount to the success of any endeavor that we ever do. There's no way to get around it. Yeah. And if you are failing, if you have not been trained or educated or taught how to do that, no one's going to care in the end, because they'll find someone who does, or who has, who can. And
for those who be filmmakers who are saying, yeah, but I'm writing a screenplay about emotions and all this. Yes, but there is a structure there. The monomyth, the hero's journey, the 3-act structure, the 11-step structure, whichever one you want to look at. It is a tried and true art form of scientific structure of how we as human beings portray and envision and see a story.
Right.
One of the best quotes from a movie about film, about this topic I love, is in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. Richard Dreyfuss has a quote in there, his character. It says, the audience knows exactly what to expect, and that's all they're willing to believe in. To that effect. I slaughtered a little bit.
That's okay.
What that's basically saying is we all go into a movie and a story, whether it's a book or whatever, we know what we're getting, and we know what a story is,
Right.
from the refusal of the call to the magical flight to all these different steps. We may not know them consciously because we didn't study them, but when we go into a story, know those beats, know what's going to happen. And when we don't get that, it becomes a bad story to a lot of us.
It can be.
It gets disjointed, and we lose it, and we don't follow anymore, and we're like, okay.
And you can have the thing about, well, I'm writing an emotional story, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's like, look, if you want to make a 1970s art film that looks really cool to someone who likes 1970s art films, great. Once again, I am never, we talked about it, I'm never going to tell you what to do with your movie. However, if you want to make a movie that people are going to watch and people are going to pay for, okay, you can't show them a 1970s art piece. There's a reason that movies that are making bazillions of dollars have, plots and plans and arcs and other stuff like that. And 1970s art films are in festivals of 1970s art films, which are attended by people who make 1970s art films and nobody else. Okay, if that's what you want to do it. But understand that your failure, I'm going to say failure, your inability or unwillingness to have a plan, to have a written whatever, to examine, utilize the magnificent tool that is writing. That your film, your project, your reports, your if you're going to go into something other than film or be part of the film but not making films, none of it's going to make any sense unless you have that ability. And here's the thing about the cruel, cruel world that you like to tell people, that I'll tell people. No one cares about your emotion, because in the world of business, the show business, people are going to give you money, and you need to give them a product that's going to make them more money. If you can't do that, they're going to find someone who will. Mm-hmm. And if you want to be the guy who's having the emotional whatever of the film of the 1970s whatever I was saying art film, mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. But understand, people don't hire those guys to make money. People don't hire those guys to make films, and no one hires those guys, and so those guys don't make money.
Yeah, and if you wanna start your own production company, and you go to the bank for a loan, mm-hmm. Try this. Don't make a business plan.
Oh no.
Just go in there and say, I got an idea. I want to make movies. This is, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do this.
Tell them about your emotions.
Yeah.
See what they get.
Tell them how passionate you are about movies. See if you get that loan. No. But if you have the ability to write and structure it out and create a business plan that you can show step by step how you're going to make money, make money to pay that loan and then some.
Yeah.
Present it to them, and they read it, and it makes sense, and it flows, and they get, and it's not just jumping from one point to the other, and has all this, well, I really feel like this. It's not a novel. It's a structure. It's an outline of your business.
Plan.
Your plan for your business.
Right.
Try and go get a loan, or try and get an investor without a written business plan. Try and go get a grant without writing it. You want to apply for a film grant about about how to save the planet. It's a green film. It's a green grant. You can get $50,000. Go tell them that I just really want to. I feel really passionate about the earth. That ain't gonna get you anything. You need to write out your story. Try to get into a college without having your
or try to survive
essay.
At a college.
Yes. In the real world, you want to make money, you want to succeed, you want to go wherever the hell you want to go. You need to be able to write.
Yeah.
And that means giving up on this idea of trying to find this new way to do things, because it's like, well, the Eurocentric science was Eurocentric for so long. It didn't take ideas outside. Okay, fine, maybe it was, but that doesn't mean any of it's wrong.
Right.
Because of that. They use the Socratic method to get to these decisions and understand this way about the physics, the laws of physics and the way our world works. Just because it was a bunch of white people that figured it out doesn't make it any less right or wrong.
Right.
It's just the way the world is.
It's the way
Figure it
science.
out.
It's numbers don't lie. Numbers don't care.
So when someone gives you a template for a business plan, or someone tells you this is how you write a script, this is the structure, and it's worked for millennia, why do you feel the need to go, I'm going to figure out a better way to do it? People, you're not discovering anything new. This isn't a new idea. It's like people who keep bringing up socialism. Oh, it's going to be, this is how you're going to do it. It's a love and peace. We need to bring more peace and love into the world. You really think you're the first stupid son of a bitch to think that?
Ask the Russians how that worked out.
Yeah.
Or the Venezuelans.
You think
The
that's
Cubans, the
yeah.
Vietnamese.
And that's the same thing with trying, going, well, I'm just going to write my movie and it's going to be magnificent.
It's going to be fine.
It's no, because that's just not the way the human mind works. We're animals. We are in many ways robots. We are programmed to think certain ways. Evolutionarily, biologically, we think certain ways.
Sociologically,
Yeah.
it happens all his ways. Yeah.
And no amount of standing up on your feet and saying, well, that's not right, is going to change that.
You had the conversation about that's not right, and you could say, okay, so what? That's one of the things that I'll always say. It's like, well, that shouldn't be done that way. Says who? Well, it's not right. Says who? Well, I don't like it. Says you. Okay.
I should be able to jump off a building, a 32nd floor building, and not come crushing down to my death.
Go ahead and try it.
You're right. It's not fair that happens.
It's not fair, but
guess what?
That's the way it works. Yeah.
That's the way
and
the
so,
world works.
and I've had numerous numbers of these conversations involving people who say, well, you shouldn't do this, or you should. That's not right. It's not the way. It's like, look, I'm not disagreeing with you. Maybe it's not. Maybe it shouldn't be like this. Okay, but it is. Maybe the world shouldn't be the way it is, and you could certainly try to change things. You could certainly move to change things, but you have to understand something. In order for you to change something, or you to make something, or do something other than the thing, it has to be better than what went before.
And you need to explain how you're going to do that,
and why your plan works where other plans don't work. Why is this plan better than that plan than this plan? And you have to be able to explain it in a way that the other humans can understand you. If you can't come up to them and then wave your hands in the air, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be this, and the humans are like, I don't get you. I need you to explain it to me. And if you don't, then why are you here?
and that's where writing comes in.
Very, very important.
Express it and explain it and take you step by step through the process without somebody arguing every step of the way. You're going to go talk to somebody. Well, this is my idea, but what about this? Let me finish the idea.
Yeah, well, it's one of the things I've always had is you have a plan, you have a thing, you have it written out, whatever else, and you just say, here it is. It's something I've done. I was like, here you go. And then when I'm talking about it, it's like, go read it. We're not talking now. Go read, and then come back to me, or write something back. Mm-hmm. If you make someone write something back to you, typically they stop arguing with you at all, because then they have to go through the process of figuring it out, and they can't, and it doesn't work out, and then they just give up. Well, that's their fault, really. They shouldn't give up, but that's what they do. And in that case, where's your passion? Where's your emotion? If it wasn't that big of a deal, enough for you to sit down and write it, because along with the commitment of doing it, and along with the seeing it and having it, there is the commitment of doing it. And if your emotion can carry you through the planning and all of the stage, then it's real. I believe in your emotion. I'll believe in your feeling because you've shown me something. I can look at it and go, you feel very passionately about it. You feel so passionately about it, and you believe in it so much that you've given me something I can hold on to and look and read, and I will have from now until forever. And I could say, I've seen into the mind of a genius. Okay, and you've shown me what's going to happen. Okay, you as a writer, you as a filmmaker, you as a producer, you as a whatever else, you can move people, you can change the world, you can get the money for your project, you can splatter your emotion all over the wall, to use a very dirty reference, and you could just say whatever it is you want to say and do whatever you want to do. If you give it to me, if you put it into a form that is, real, and I can hold it and look at it and review it and look and have it and show it to other people. Because you just telling me that I have a feeling is useless. Put it in a format. And the better you are at doing that format, the better you are at writing it, the better you are at communicating those ideas, the more I will believe in your emotions, the more I will believe in your feelings. Because if I can look at it and see it, oh my God, I may join you in this project. I may say, yes, Bill has got a fantastic idea, look. And my friend will go, holy crap. And then you got this motion, then it's moving, and then you're going somewhere. But unless you can make that happen, then you're just pissing in the wind. Why? Take the time, learn, examine, extrapolate the best ideas and put it onto a piece of paper or a computer, whatever. I'm not saying it has to be a computer. Chisel it into marble if you want to be all Roman about it, whatever, but put it there. And so the rest of the world can examine and see and marvel at your emotional beauty that you've shown us.
So whether you're a filmmaker, an accountant, a production manager, whatever, if you want to win in life, if you want to be able to go where you want to go in life, you need to learn to write.
You have to. There's no way around it. It's like you have to learn to speak and walk and dress yourself. Writing is just part of it.
Yeah,
Do it.
Otherwise, you're not going to be able to express your own ideas, and you're not going to be able to convince other people to see things your way.
And then who cares?
Hi, I'm Brett Mauser, and I wrote the book on how to make a movie with no money. And here it is. See, it's got pictures and everything. So head on over to our website, notsosane.com, and get your digital or paperback copy today.